You are tuned in to DAR Sports Media, where today's theme on weekend wrestling is ad nauseum, because everything that has happened here recently this week that is noteworthy are things that we have dug into for weeks, 4 months. It's the same cycles. I will say that there was a hot debut on Monday night. But otherwise, our predictions, both on air and off air, because we extensively discussed how Dom was going to switch on Rhea. And I want to say, I was excited. I was watching it with a crew of people, and everybody was, doubting that, couldn't believe it. And I was telling them you could see from the body language of Rhea Ripley and Dom when they were coming out of the curtain it was going to happen. Rhea was just way too loose, having way too good of a time. It was obvious that she was going to slip on the banana peel, but that's just a little bit of wrestling 101. If you want to know when something like that is coming, go back and watch those entrances, and you'll see the things that I'm talking about with Rhea's body language when they were making their entrance. But all of the results that we thought, all the results that we thought were going to happen, happened. And they all are working out great so far. And for other ad nauseum conversations, AEW Dynamite viewership was fucking diabolical again this week. And we got the numbers coming out. They're going to do like 3,000 fans for fucking Grand Slam.
It'll reach 5,000 or 6,000 by the time.
When in 2021 we were over 20,000. We're going to do about half the crowd at All In that we did last year. But a lot of these folks will just keep telling you there's just nothing wrong. It's just as good as it's ever been. Nothing could be changed. Nothing could be improved.
They're working against
great. It's all, if you say otherwise, it's just all bad faith. All bad faith arguments. Nothing can be done better. Now we're getting to the point where people are just like, oh, numbers don't even matter. It's just better because I say so. None of these metrics that have been used to measure success for 100 fucking years. They don't matter. They're not real anymore. Whatever you say.
Who cares about ratings? You watch wrestling for ratings, or you watch it for wrestling? That is what I saw this week, which is like like everybody's against AEW.
Once again, do you want to keep watching it for wrestling? If you do, you should care about the ratings. Fucking hello. Shows that do not do good ratings get fucking canceled, and they're not on the air anymore. So that would be the point of why that is should be a cause for concern for you. Again, but it's funny because it's always the people who. It's funny because all the big AEW fucking accounts always cry about bad faith this and bad faith that, and then we'll turn around and say that there was only so much wrestling on a quote-unquote 8-hour SummerSlam on Sunday, when at least half of that runtime was a pregame show that was not even in the ring. It was like a studio setting. But you'll deliberately say that like that wasn't the case. Yeah. So ad nauseum, this viewership and the metrics and the fucking direction it's going, and it's the trend line is a fucking shit show. But we've already covered that. And if you're still in denial about that, you're fucking a lost cause, and you don't want to hear anything else. I mean, a lot of these people are indirectly admitting it now that they're just heading right into the flames with the fucking wheels coming off. None of these things matter. I like it. I like the ship going fast. I don't care if we're headed towards an iceberg field. Another thing that's very, very typical that's happened this week is, you saw of all the people, God, this level, this section of AEW fans just are so shameless and have no fucking soul. The Lucha Brothers are insignificant now. Now the Lucha Brothers of all people are getting how good were they really? How big of a deal were they really to the company? They're getting that treatment now that they're fucking heading off probably to the WWE. That was
I just
hilarious
want
to watch, and hilarious to watch like clockwork, like right on time. These fucking people were in there saying this clown shit. Tremendous.
I just want to mention one. So there's just two keys here about the Lucha Brothers departing AEW that people might not fully be aware of. One, Penta was the one who really wanted out of AEW, and I mean, I can discuss on air is he wanted out of AEW because he didn't feel like they were going anywhere. He felt like very stagnant. He wanted to do more. He wanted a new challenge. There's all these different reasons that people could go to, but the one thing that I think stands out about this is we are now, when we look at AEW day ones, if you will, the Lucha Brothers are yet another crew of day ones who are no longer involved with the company. And I think in many ways that is that's a scary sign, honestly, for AEW fans, honestly, because you have to look at the fact that people who were there when it started feels like it's not what it was when it started, and they want to do new challenges, they want out. And when you have situations like that, the Lucha Brothers are responsible for some of the best matches that have ever happened in AEW. They were a part of a lot of great wrestling in AEW. One of my favorite cage matches that took place, I believe, at All Out, was it All Out 2021 with the Young Bucks? It's one of my favorite cage matches, and a great
Hell yeah.
They've had
Fuck
great
yeah.
ladder matches. They've had great just running with Pac and doing the Death Triangle shit. They had so much great stuff in AEW. You can't discredit someone because they left the company. And I think that's the problem, is that none of you work for AEW. Let's be clear. Like, none of you work for AEW, right?
So
like
you work for them. You work hard bouncing, but you're not.
You don't. Like, you don't get checks that say All Elite Wrestling at the top.
Work like the Rihanna song, twerking on the TL on Twitter, but you're not
got to do
employed by
tricks
them.
on it. You ain't got to do tricks on it, but y'all motherfuckers be doing tricks. And the thing is,
we see you.
So I'm gonna say this. I thought it was funny. Somebody hit me up and was like, "Yo, does this dude get paid by AEW to?" I'm not gonna say who it was, but I thought it was funny. somebody sent me something. They were like, "Yo, does this dude get paid by AEW?" Like, I figured you would know. I was like, "Yeah, I usually know who's in the media getting special perks from AEW." I said, "But this person, no, they just created their own thing to basically kiss AEW's ass." And he's like, "Wait, so they're not getting paid to be this much of a shill?" And I was like, "Yeah, pretty much." And you go down the line of the people who work in media or people who whatever, and it's like, people get accused of things in regards to AEW all the time. I've seen people say that people only defend AEW because their best friends work in prominent positions, or they've gotten opportunities or money from Tony Khan. I've seen people say that people only in media do this and that because of that. Then I hear people say, "Oh, WWE sends out all these little bad PR things to try to destroy AEW, and it doesn't make any sense." So there's all these different things that people are doing to excuse AEW for lackluster content, lackluster television programming, lackluster ratings, and lackluster houses. Because as Eric pointed out a little earlier, All In is what, 45, 50,000, which is, look, no matter what, getting 50,000 people in the building is still great. However, when you did 80,000 the year before, well, 72 if you really want to be, 72, 80,000, whatever. When you did that, it was because you had some momentum. And the funny part is, last year, AEW still had, if AEW would have did All In 2021, and like right when Punk and Bryan and everybody came in, it would have been people outside of the stadium trying to get in this motherfucker with 80,000+ people there, because you had the momentum. Losing your momentum, that 80,000 was just because it was the first one there. It's the outlier. It was the first one. So everybody wanted to be a part of the first something. It's like, if you had the first stadium show, if WWE does like hey, we're going to WrestleMania in the UK. It's the first ever WrestleMania in the UK. They could fill 100,000 seats if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like that's just because that's the appeal. The Grand Slam not looking great right now, and I think there's several reasons why that's a problem, and I think this is the issue with AEW right now. The thing that they did in Texas was Arlington, where they did all these
Yeah.
small venues for
Yeah.
great idea because this is where you are right now as a company. You wanted to compete so bad with WWE, you're like, oh no, we can do the 10,000 seat arenas. And for a while, you were doing 7, 8,000 a week, almost 5,000, 6,000 in these big arenas. The beauty of the AEW run when they came back in 2021 is that everybody was ready to go back outside and back to events and back to this and back to that. But then slowly it fell off a little bit. And as evidenced by Monday in my home city of Baltimore and Raw, there was no tickets left in Baltimore. There were no tickets left. I will be honest. I reached out to a couple people like, hey, y'all got some comp tickets for Raw? You know, some media tickets. They said, dude, we are wiped out. Wiped out. 11,000 seats on a Monday night in Baltimore. And I say that because Missy Elliott was here, a couple other concerts were here, and they didn't even do 11,000 seats. And that explains to you that, which is crazy, which Missy Elliott deserves 11,000. I just want to point out, Missy Elliott deserves way more than that for every concert. So shame on you, Baltimore.
Goddamn right.
You know, shame on you.
Because people were not going to miss in the same city where the original debuted, where the Wyatt family debuted. They were not missing the new Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah.
I was there for that. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. Wow, that's true.
They were going up for that, and they did go up for it, and it was fucking spectacular. Raw was absolutely on fucking fire Monday. Fantastic show. Fantastic fucking angle with Bronson Reed. Oh my god, holy shit. That was insane.
Yeah.
Odyssey Jones debut. I love that they were so aggressive and trying to make new fucking stars and like really put them over to get them some attention. And then of course we ended with Chad Gable finally with his new stable American Made against the Wyatt Six, both groups debuting as working units. Fucking fire match. Bunch of crazy shit went down. Two things to address. You know, it was fucking incredible to see every member of the Wyatt Six have little intricacies where they were doing homages to both Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt. Incredible to watch, but also incredible to watch them make the style their own. Everybody was working their asses off. Joe Gacy doing incredible shit for a guy his size. And conversely, American Made looked fucking fantastic as well. Put themselves over big time, even in a losing effort, even though some people out there with pea-sized brains don't seem to understand that you can still put yourself over and give yourself a good showing, even in a losing fucking effort. Hello, Thanos. You know, and they looked fucking amazing. Super excited about that group going forward. And, you know, we see some of the people, some of the same clowns online. Oh, well, they wouldn't be doing stuff like that if they were working for Tony and this and that. Yeah, they wouldn't be doing stuff like American Made and Chad Gable wouldn't be losing on AEW because they probably wouldn't be on the fucking show, as with many other of the fucking people who came over there, got signed, and now just sit around. But hey, we got another very, very long Jericho segment on Wednesday, so that was good.
Did we? Did we? Oh my god! Thank God I didn't watch it. Oh man, I was like out with it's like hanging out with my grandfather or something like that. I think, or trying to get back from where was I? Was that Wednesday or was it Thursday? That was Wednesday. No, I was coming back from work and got caught in rain, and I was like, man, I'm gonna miss Dynamite. So I missed Dynamite, but God, I'm so glad I did now. I'm so glad that I did. No one needs more Jericho. So actually, if you go to the Medium site, which the DAR Sports Media Medium site, which has a shit ton of content right now and a bunch in waiting to go up, actually today by 5 p.m. Will probably be up by the time you guys probably listen to this. But so I just want to point out, there is absolutely a article on there from Zach, one of our writers, asking, does AEW have a Chris Jericho problem? And a couple of Chris Jericho fans responded to some of the posts and were mad about the article. So, and I had personally several people reach out to me and say, why you guys always hating on Chris Jericho? I mean, look, if the shoe fits, you got to wear the motherfucker, right? And Chris Jericho is not entertaining. Brian Keith, you deserve better than being in the learning tree. Is Big Bill? Is Big Bill? Is Big Bill in it? Is Big Bill in it?
Yeah.
Okay, he's in it. Okay. Yeah, you deserve better. You were actually better off hanging out with Ricky Starks, who dun 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 dun. All the rumors are saying that Ricky Starks is preparing to head to WWE when he finishes up with AEW.
I thought that was hilarious. Dave being like, yo, guess what's probably happening, guys? Like, everybody didn't fucking know that 6 months ago. Like, oh man, what a fucking scoop that Rick Starks probably done with AEW and obviously is going to show up in the WWE because he's a fucking ready-made star. Hello. Damn, Dave, you're so plugged in, bro. Anyways,
I'm sorry, Dave Meltzer is the most hilarious dude ever to me. I just want to point out, I saw some of our friends taking up for Dave yesterday, and I've said to them multiple times, you guys got to stop. They're like, oh, Dave did the work. And, you know, if you really break down what work is, I don't think Dave counts as someone who did the work. I think as a historian, I think as a wrestling historian, you watched a lot of wrestling, you documented it. You didn't have a lot of free time, so you watched a lot of wrestling. But I think to that point, saying the obvious does not make you an insider, and this is why I would never consider what we do as being inside, even if we have quote-unquote inside information. Not an insider, not a dirt sheet guy, not any of that. I just happen to know people who won't shut the fuck up about the companies they work for and in professional wrestling. And I think that is what Dave Meltzer has in his back pocket because he's been a wrestling historian. People respect Dave Meltzer. I don't know why. Like I said, he's been around for a long time. We do respect seniority, I guess, in that sense. So, you know, kudos to him for being in this business for a long period of time. But I think when you bring up something as obvious as Ricky Starks is leaving to go to WWE, I think you should also address the elephant in the room that we don't know what's going to happen with Daniel Garcia and what he's got going on with AEW as well. And if you notice, I always say you can pay attention to certain things and tell. They're leading this to the Ospreay MJF match. Will Daniel Garcia come back and be a part of that? Will he resign? I think right now, if you're looking at a guy like Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis getting to go out there with this Wyatt gimmick, if you're looking at Braun Breaker right now, who's the Intercontinental Champion, if you're looking at Ethan Page, who left AEW and went to NXT and is a champion and is headlining that show, I think you see that now with the NXT going to CW, Ricky Stark showing up on NXT or showing up right on SmackDown will fit in perfectly. But there's also elephants in the room. Will he suffer the same fate as a guy like Carmelo Hayes right now, who is not really getting super opportunities in WWE? In my opinion, I think he's had a couple of whatever, but I think maybe
he's on the show every week.
He's on the show, but I mean, he's
in an angle.
Is he?
You got to wrap up
with Andrade?
Yes. You got to wrap up the angle. It looks like they're all about to orbit the U.S. Championship.
Well, nobody's beating LA Knight. Let's be clear on that. No one's beating LA Knight.
Not for a while.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. I'm
God damn it. That was a good match.
Yeah. No, I was. I'm curious. Like I said, I'm curious to see what happens with these guys. I think Ricky Starks will shine. I believe that come 2025, the summer of 2025, next year, when DAR Sports and Media is sitting in this media press box at SummerSlam 2025, eating all the free cheese and chicken that they give out to the people in the press box and the media, because that's what we do. I believe Ricky Starks will be in a close to top of the card feud in WWE on SmackDown. I don't see Ricky Starks going to Raw, although the Netflix thing might actually fit him better because he could probably have a little bit more flexibility on what he says.
Yeah.
And I think, I think Cody might actually be running on Netflix come next year at some point too. I don't think this brand extension shit, the draft, I don't think it's gonna matter once they're on SmackDown's on USA and Netflix has
It's
Raw.
definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting paradigm shift just because the different worlds that it feels like it's in.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting how it starts and then how they adapt to really utilizing that. So Wyatt's American Made, what were your thoughts on the debut?
I think it was great, man. I think
yeah.
I was skeptical, right? I think I was skeptical. I think I said it, like I love the vignettes. I love the promos. I was skeptical because I'd never seen Dexter Lumis as a wrestler's wrestler or a guy who can go out there and kill it.
And man, that motherfucker was cooking.
and he went out there and he showed his ass. And Joe Gacy, I've seen some of Joe Gacy in NXT. I thought he was okay. I wasn't overly impressed. But I think when you put people in something that matters and something that gives them the opportunity, hey, go out there and kill that shit. That's all the motivation you need. And wrestling is not like Chinese arithmetic. The shit is not fucking, it's not calculus. It's not hard. You have to, if you have the athletic ability to go out there and do the right things, and also the IQ to go out there and say, hey, what'll get the crowd? Okay, they have a built-in, and I don't want to say it this way, but like they have a built-in like window of like what can get people excited about what we do. We can go out there, do some, pay homage to Bray, pay homage to Brody. Like people want to see that. Give the people what they want. When you give the people what they want,
you're working with at an advantage. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so plus, I mean, let's be honest, you go out there with the fucking Creeds and Chad Gable, you're not gonna miss anyway. So I think
between the build and the guys they're working with, it was pretty tough to fuck this up.
It was the perfect storm. And like I said, man, it's still tough because Bray was one of those guys, I was there. Like you just reminded me, like I didn't even think about it was a debut, but I remember I was there for the Wyatt family debut. And I remember from jump, me and my boys was like, man, this Bray dude got it. And you fast forward 10 plus years, whatever now, I think that was 2013. I want to say 2013. Yeah, I think
it was.
Like something like July, August 2013, I think around the same time.
Yeah.
So, I just remember that the conversation, like, man, Bray's got it. And you fast forward now and it's just like, he's not even here. And then Brody's not even here. And, so for Bo Dallas to step into the role he stepped into and become, who he is, and Bo Dallas to step into this role and do what he's doing, along with, like I said, I want to see Nikki. I'm waiting to see Nikki Cross.
I was just about to say, I'm excited to see Nikki in the women's division and see how that
because
how
she
that
can
works.
fucking go. She can go,
yes.
And then you add in, you add this into. I like, hey man, the women's division in WWE is pretty. They have a lot of women that they could go to. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Obviously, right now we're doing the Liv and Rhea Ripley thing, but I'm ready for that to kind of be be over as a feud. I mean, I know it's just beginning, but like for the title, I would love to see Nikki Cross get in there, and because she's everything they've given her in WWE, she's taken and tried to make it work, and she is a real worker.
I'm serious when I say that almost a superhero thing was top 5 most dog shit things I've ever seen in fucking professional wrestling. 35 fucking years I've been watching this. One of the most dog shit things I've ever seen. And then she went for like a year as like a heel, but still in the same gimmick, like in the same gear and in the same everything. But there was never any explanation or she was just out there. It was so fucking horrible.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, all I can say, simply put, is
people complain, but you're forgetting the days of almost a superhero, but not, with no explanation, of Shorty G, of Bobby Lashley flexing his butt cheeks, like
smacking his own ass for no reason, while Leo Rush cuts promos. I don't get it, man. Look, speaking of that, before, like I said, Nikki Cross, really excited to see her get in the ring, get in the women's division. I believe Bobby Lashley's contract is just about up with WWE. I'm 98.9% sure he is already penciled in to join AEW. I think he'll be cleared to wrestle probably in the next 3 weeks, if I had to guess, based on the inside information that I know. He's he had a pretty rough injury, and that's why he was gone. But he's
like 42, ain't he?
Yeah, so I mean, he getting up there. I don't think he sees himself wrestling too much longer. So I think he wants that one big last contract. And what better place to get that last big contract than at AEW and take Tony Khan's money? I know Shelton Benjamin has been in talks to work with AEW for a while. MVP as well. I don't know if you saw what he said, Eric, but Lashley pretty much said Vince McMahon saw him as a star, and Triple H and him have not connected. Which, if you feel that way, you're probably going to leave and go.
That felt pretty
distinctive.
Yeah,
it's pretty much him saying.
Just to correct myself, to further put in perspective how crazy this is. Bobby Lashley's 48.
Wow.
Bobby Lashley's almost fucking 50. Holy fuck.
Well, in that case,
great time to sign a 4-year, $10 million a year deal at AEW.
So I can
on that. Again, same conversation we have all the time. I would love to see him work their style. A lot of people there I would love to see him work with.
For sure.
Hopefully it doesn't turn into a clusterfuck like it's so often.
I just want to say one last thing about this, because I couldn't say this before, but I can say it now because a few people have left WWE to go to AEW. So WWE is totally fine with the Lashleys, the Edges, and everybody else who's left. They're totally fine with them. They're totally fine with Bryan Danielson not coming back to for one last run, Hall of Fame run. Because in their words, the only reason why a guy like Punk appealed to them was because Punk is Punk. It's one of the biggest draws in the history of professional wrestling. You always go with that. But the idea is that Triple H privately told a lot of the guys, like, hey, we're getting rid of these older guys who, their time's almost up. We can always bring them back for the Hall of Fame once they finish up elsewhere. He said they don't have a place here like that anymore. Like, they're still decent guys.
I think that the ecosystem is understood. Like, hey, we're trying to rebuild our roster. We're trying to get these new guys to be stars.
And there's 20 wrestlers that are fucking over.
You can make a lot more money than we're going to pay you somewhere else. And if by some fucking miracle they actually use you properly, you could actually help that other place too. So it's win for everybody until AEW resourcefully finds a way to fuck it up, as they so often do. It's all positive for everybody. WWE, we don't really want to, we're trying to get these new guys over. We don't really want to pay you $5 million. Go get paid $7 million by them and help to elevate the guys down there, who we will then sign at a later time and date.
That's pretty much their thought process. Is like, hey, look, they got guys there that they are not doing shit with, that are talented. Like the Ethan Page thing happens it's such a quick turnaround. I know they used to joke about this or talk about this last year or 2 years ago, contract tampering and all of this shit. But I don't even blame the companies, because the wrestlers themselves are calling the people that are in charge of the other company and saying, I'm unhappy here. I don't want to be here. Or they're talking to champions of the other brand and saying let's get me out of here. Because wrestlers are friends. Let's be clear. Wrestlers are friends. Friends talk to friends about frustrations. And what happens is, if you have a friend, like this is for the AEW terminally online weirdos.
Hold on. For the AEW terminally online weirdos. Okay, so use your imagination real quick and imagine that you ever had a friend. Okay, go ahead.
It's very tough. It's very tough. I know. It's a very foreign concept. But if you had a friend who's working a job that they were unhappy with, and you had it like, hey man, this job's pretty cool, man. I'm getting paid nice. Like, we got some new perks. I'll talk to my boss and see if I can, see what we can make out. When's your contract up? Oh, contract's up August 15th. Okay, great. I'll see what we can do. That's how it works when you have friends who you try to look out for and try to make things happen for. But because you guys don't have any friends, you've never had to help anybody a day in your life, all you ever do is just bitch and moan incessantly about the oh my god, Penta and Ray Phoenix are they're turning on us. They're not with us anymore. They're not with us anymore. Motherfucker, you are not a part of this. You are a fan. You are a customer.
First of all,
like, you're a customer. You're a customer. This is the problem. So hey, I'll put it to like this. Obviously, this is a sports brand. We are heavy sports fans. A lot of my guys on this brand take their teams very seriously, because it's something you're born into it as a sports fan. You know, my guy over here is a diehard 49ers fan, and he wants to see his team do great, just like you might want AEW to do great out there, guys. But guess what? My guy knows he's not a part of the team. He knows he is not. Look, if he could step in right now and stop the 49ers from trading away their wide receiver that was very helpful to them, I'm sure he would if he could find a way to. But guess what? He's not going to go and be like, oh my God, he's turned his back on us. First of all, it's a fucking business. It's a business.
Yep.
It's a business. And people leave businesses all the fucking time. The few of you who might have had jobs at AEW diehards, the few of you who may have ever worked a job and had a job before, if you've ever been in a job and said, hey man, I'm going to leave, I want to leave this job. I'm unhappy. This is normal stuff. People are not going to be, just because you love this company so much, does not mean everybody else who's going to walk through that door loves this company. And not to say that the Lucha Brothers didn't love the company, not to say that Ricky Starks didn't appreciate the company. They joined the company because they believed the company was something that it's not. They believed that AEW was something and it represented something that it does not. When you realize that you were led to the slaughter and lied to about what this company really was and what it's supposed to be, then you say, okay, well, if you're like everybody else, I'll just go to the place I wanted to be in before, when I first started wrestling. 98% of those wrestlers who've ever existed in professional wrestling, their dream was to make it to WWE, because AEW did not exist in 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. And all these wrestlers have been watching wrestling at least 15, 20 years. So where do you want to make it to? You want to make it to WWE. The fact you people are mad at wrestlers for going to live out a dream and being able to utilize AEW to catapult themselves to be prominent enough to get to that place, you're losers. It's a loser mentality.
Speaking of loser mentalities, I saw a few people in regards to Ricky Starks, Lucha Bros, and Daniel Garcia, hopefully. The WWE's just they can't even make their own stars. They're getting all AEW people. All In has one match that doesn't feature a WWE wrestler. One of the whole card. Some of them have multiple fucking people that used to be in WWE on the card. SummerSlam had Cody Rhodes. The majority of the card was built through the PC. So
Braun Breaker, your new Intercontinental Champion. LA Knight,
my God,
your former Eli Drake from TNA, who AEW...
I wouldn't say LA Knight's a PC guy, but
well, no, I'm not calling him. I'm just saying he's a guy who
Baker.
Is
you're
a
just
veteran.
Braun Baker, Nia Jax, Bailey, Liv, Rhea, Solo.
Because
arguable with Gunther and what's his name, and what do I want to call him? Punishment Martinez. Damian Priest. Arguable if they count. But
we'll see. So okay, yeah. So they're not PC guys, but like you mentioned, Gunther, and you mentioned now I'm about to call him Punishment Martinez.
Priest.
Damian Priest, and I mentioned LA Knight because these are three guys who made a name for themselves prior to coming to WWE, but they had no run-ins with AEW or nothing. And we're looking at, I just want to point out that SummerSlam match with Gunther and Priest, fire. Priest, hey man, that last month or two of Priest's title run, he was putting in banger after banger after banger. But and then LA Knight, for all people talking about LA Knight, everything's great until he starts getting in the ring. Like, I think he shut a lot of you motherfuckers up because he's been having good match after good match after good match. He is extremely still over. He came out there on SmackDown. Crowd was loving it. He apparently had new music that really didn't sound like new music,
Yeah,
but
they
it's like
they were like,
it's like,
yeah, we
it's like what?
new music for a new era. I'm like, where? What am I fucking losing my mind right now? Like, am
Like
I
a
fucking
slight,
going
like a
crazy?
very slight remix. Like okay,
I
so like
couldn't
as a
tell the difference at all.
so like as a music guy, I can hear the little like, oh, you put some extra little hi-hats here, you change a little bit of this, you change a little bit of that. Like it's a very faint difference. And so I thought it was hilarious that they were like, oh, this was done by such and such and this such and such.
That
And I'm
almost
like,
sounds like a fucking like an inside joke. Like they were let's make a really big deal out of the fucking difference in the music.
and so I like it's funny because I saw it on YouTube and it's like LA Night Arrives with new music on the official WWE account. And I was like, new music? I was like, I saw the segment on Twitter. I was like, why? I didn't hear new music. And then I listened really close on YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, like very faint, very small difference. I mean, kudos to them, I guess. But kudos to LA Knight. And like I said, like AEW, it doesn't matter where the wrestler comes from, whether you're AEW, whether you're WWE, whether you were TNA, whether Ring of Honor, whether you were in the UK and British wrestling. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what company you started with, what company you end up with. What matters is that you're going out there putting on a good show. We're getting good shows. And so when people go, oh, they're taking all AEW stars. Lucha Brothers, I wouldn't call them AEW stars because they weren't really treated like that. They were the go-to tag team that were white hot, go out there, put on great matches, excite the crowd. Ray Phoenix, obviously, one of the most athletic wrestlers and the most high-flying, wrestlers in the world. Penta, a legend in his own right, and who was the man to me in Lucha Underground. So, I mean, really, Lucha Brothers will be just fine wherever they go. Ricky Starks.
I think it's funny that they're so lustful. WWE, it was like they decided they were going to take tag teams seriously, and then we're like, oh shit, we don't have any tag teams.
yeah, it's like, tag team wrestling right now is in a very rough state right now, and I feel like we go through this every couple years, right? Where like maybe like 1 or 2 years go by and we're like, oh yeah, tag team wrestling's great, and then the Young Bucks win the championships and everything feels like it's like every time the Young Bucks are tag team champions, tag team wrestling sucks. I just want to make that.
We wouldn't know because they haven't defended the belt since they got them.
Which is like, and what are we doing? Are we doing the Acclaim versus the Young Bucks? Is that like that's what we're doing here? I mean, okay, FTR waiting in the wings. Is that what we're doing here? Like, all right, cool guys. I mean, someone's gonna like it.
Speaking of. Someone out there likes videos of people getting their balls hammered on chairs.
Somebody.
Speaking of new music, tell us about this album.
Oh, yeah. Soul Revival 6 just dropped the very, very personal, heartfelt single that I almost had a breakdown in the studio recording because I didn't write most of it. I wrote the first part and then I just took off and freestyle from the heart. It's called Baltimore Ravens, which I titled it that if you must know, because look, cheap pops get people, if you're going to search Baltimore Ravens a lot during this upcoming season. So if you find my song and listen to it, you got an epic song to listen to. Very personal, very straightforward, discusses a lot of stuff, as does this album. Soul Revival 6 comes out September 9th. It would have came out a lot sooner, but as an independent artist, I have to cover my own distribution fees to put out my album, and that's how I make a little bit of change off of my music on Spotify and Apple Music. As you know, my situation took me a little while to get that cleared up, but I got it all cleared up. And so appreciate everybody who has shown support, shown love all you guys, appreciate all you guys. But Soul Revival 6, as my good friend Peagle said, it's not your last, you're just saying it. It feels like my last solo album for a while. I would like to take a break from, this is my first solo album in over a year. and I put a lot into it. I went back to the old days, man. I used to write on my phone. I have two composition notebooks. There were two for $1 in Dollar Tree, and I got the two composition notebooks, and I started writing my rhymes with pen and paper again. And I think it's just a great project. Obviously, it's a very personal project. As you've heard, if you've listened to the one of our previous episodes, you've heard "Ain't Change," which is me and my brother Shaka Apollo, which is the official first single off of the album, and we are actually trying to find a way to shoot a video for that if we can, or you might see an animated video for it too, depending on how it all works out. I'm just really proud of this album. It starts and ends with my daughter as the voice, which is the same thing that happened on Soul Revival 5 a couple years ago. So it's the album I'm really proud of, and we're about to go in full-fledged promotion mode. This album has consumed a lot of my energy and a lot of my time the last month and a half, 2 months. So now I get back to it, get back to writing, which, of course, another promo segue. The Medium site, the DAR Sports Media Medium site, I don't know how we're doing it, but we are cranking out. I mean, shout out to my guy, Tevin, who has been cooking with these NBA articles, and shout out to Zach, who's been consistent. He, consistently writing articles. Shout out to Apollo. He has one coming today, which is basically encompasses all of his Shock Sports stuff. And I have like 13 articles that I started, and they're 95% done. And we got some gaming articles coming. We got DAR Legends, some other stuff happening. It's a lot going on right now, and I'm just hoping these next couple weeks we continue pumping out content, and I will no longer. Well, I won't go into that, but there's other stuff happening right now that I'm working on, and everything to me starts and ends with Soul Revival 6, and then everything else that we're doing here is kind of in the middle of it. We got college football, I know, coming up soon, and
next week should have our first episode.
Yeah,
of our college football show. I just recently got into another deal with the United Football Media over there on their YouTube page, in case anybody who subscribes here missed that, where they're putting out a weekly, bi-weekly, non-spring, all encompassing all things of football, NFL, college, how it relates back to the UFL, all kinds of stuff. They invited me to be a part of that program. It's like an all-star group of hosts over there on the United Football Media. Super, super pumped to work with all those people. So check it out on the United Football Media YouTube page. We got the college football show coming up starting next week. Me, Ax, Tay. We're still rolling through our NFL divisional previews. AFC East was the last one we put out. Check that out. It's right here on this YouTube page. And coming up soon, we're looking to have some NBA retro, some NBA nostalgia arguments, debates, conversations, 2 generations coming together with Tay and his ilk, talking with True, Axe, me popping in and out. Going to be real fun, real interesting stuff that we have hopefully on the way. Lots of big things coming on the way on this side of the mic and on the other, as True is talking about. Hopefully, as you can tell, more and more than ever, the music scene, the writing scene shows on this YouTube page, shows on another YouTube page. God damn, the world of DAR never stops.
Niggas steady talking, but they can't, man. 8 chests in this form on the same thing. 20 years in, rolling with the same gang. You can say what you want, niggas ain't changed. Niggas ain't changed, 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 niggas ain't changed.
I let it get too far, bearing the cross
stars like Knights Templar. For my children, I'm the exemplar. Gem star, twinkle in my kids' eyes, it makes me wanna cry. Self-prophecy, not accepting mediocrity. Socrates was a thief, shame on the democracy. Dealing with enough, let alone the cops blocking me. Anything else is obsolete. Forsake Pete, I will defeat all that lays in my feet. Keep the biz discreet. $1,000 vacation homes with expensive feasts. Some niggas say they friends but lie through their teeth. Loose lips, pillow talking and shit. Getting themselves in the mix, plotting on your chick. But I ain't changed a bit. I'm as real as it gets. Still pounding my fist. Shock Sports is a hit. All my time in the grid. DAR Media, we sending the blitz. Fuck all the glamour and glitz, yeah. Niggas steady talking, but they can't, man. HS in its form on the same thing. 20 years in, rolling with the same gang. You can say what you want, niggas ain't changed. Niggas ain't changed, 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 niggas ain't changed. Flow master, dope habits, wrote couplets, flow patterns. Justin Jefferson with catches, you can see the toe dragging. Old spasms, old fashions, Pelly, old classics, old Bama, roll tide, but I ain't doing no passing. Got these people claiming gangster, no you ain't that dog. Even producers turning shaky, yeah you ain't that dog. Niggas is bitch made pussy, yeah you ain't that dog. But I seen this shit coming, trust me, let me think back dog. They tell me that karma's a bitch and how it came back dog. I supported all of them artists when they ain't back, y'all. See, it's funny, this industry, you couldn't change that, dog. So when I see them play their tactics, I just aim that, dog. Cause these niggas ain't been that honest, but no loyalty. I said we needed royalties, and motherfuckers went and looked astonished. This is candid, but it's random. If you think of show and promise, cause they hate you if you asking questions before moving onward. These MCs are in it only now for opportunities. Place missing checks, a tagline that done influenced them. But see, this is obvious, and even now no unity in fighting black men not of the same community. Damn, now who we are? Not real ones, I see it clear. Niggas steady talking, but they can't, man. HS in its form on the same thing. 20 years in, rolling with the same gang. You can say what you want, niggas ain't changed. Niggas ain't changed, 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 niggas ain't changed. Niggas steady talking, but they can't, man.